Hi everybody, today we have Azadeh back. We are doing part 2 of our Trauma Bond series. This one is called
Love Hormones, Oxytocin.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing. We're going to learn more about trauma bonds and what we need to be aware of, to learn how to understand what it is we're going through during those times that makes it so hard for us to leave. Azadeh is my personal narcissistic abuse coach. She helped me go no contact. I'm still in a no contact phase. She is still helping me maintain that phase and maintain my healing. So she does coaching. She does recovery for substance abuse, eating disorders, codependency. This woman knows it all. She has a best-selling book. She's an adult child of narcissistic parents. She is amazing. Thank you, Azadeh, for being here.
Thank you so much for the introduction. It's just amazing how excited I get to talk about trauma bonds. Like, you either love it or you're going to run from it. And I love it. And I get to do it with you and watch your growth in the process. I'm going to do a small little recap on our video Amy and I did. The mental part of trauma bond is really the breakdown of cognitive dissonance. It is literally at that stage where our brain is actually fighting two battles at once. And so what happens though is in the brain, we actually land and believe that it is our fault we're being abused. That's what's happening in the brain. The love hormone, the oxytocin, let me tell you what it is first in the most simplest way. Oxytocin is a love hormone. It is actually the heartstrings that activate romance, excitement. And then it really is activated when you both feel it at the same time. So, you know, when you feel affection for your dog, you feel that your heartstrings just, or your child. And in this case, with your abuser, the narcissist, when they are charming, loving, and they actually can do that. And that's what makes trauma bond so hard, because they can be so sweet and loving and kind and engaging and attuning. And so what happens in our heart space, the love hormones, the heartstrings are activated because you can feel the reciprocity from each other. He's feeling it, you're feeling it, and it's being connected. When the brain says it's your fault you're being abused and the oxytocins are pushing you to reunite, it's almost impossible on your own to leave, because now you are in a place where you're just pushing, trying harder, and your internal chemicals are trying to get you to reunite, because mentally you believe that the abuse is your fault, right? Mm-hmm. And the oxytocins are telling you, you got to reunite, you got to reunite, you got to reunite. This is all like the inside job that's going on that people don't really understand. This is why we can't leave. We realize the relationship is unhealthy, but every attempt to end it only causes further desperation. Mm. Mm-hmm. The desperation then causes deception and denial. So the oxytocin is pushing for you reuniting, the desperation. And so you're not seeing that this is not good for me. This is harmful. This is hurting me. This is damaging. This is abusive.
So you're saying we literally don't see it. And there is an actual reason for that.
Yes. And right now we're talking about the cognitive dissonance and the oxytocins. We're talking about how the brain tells you not to leave because it's your fault. Why would you leave? Right? And the oxytocin, the love hormones, are saying, let's get back to that place of reunite, of love, of sharing and connection. That is like, you see how much leverage the narcissist has because of our natural makeup.
Yeah, that's really interesting to learn. I didn't realize there was a lot more to that.
And with oxytocins, it's the love bond. You're bonding. It's how we bond with others, even with girlfriends, like mom, sister, friend, animals. In our case, the abuser, the way they show up is so engaging. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. So everything is activated to literally bond.
Mhm.
And then when they go into those devalue and discarding stages, now you got to fight against your own system to leave them. That's what makes it so hard. And that's why it makes it even harder to leave, because we're always trying to reunite, fix it, make it better. And I think because I've walked through the withdrawals of a trauma bond, and I've walked through the withdrawals of substance abuse and alcoholism,
Mhm.
that was hard. But this takes the cake. This is like a whole nother level.
Can you talk more about withdrawals from trauma bond? So I'm sure there's people out there that are like, withdrawals from trauma bond, what?
Right. I know it's so the withdrawal is excruciatingly painful. It literally feels like someone is taking the hooks out, the hooks that they put in the name of love on your heart, your organs, your kidneys, and just pulling them back out. The withdrawal is awful. That mind cannot stop racing about the person. The emotional pain is just like excruciating, because you can't work. Most people I know that walk through a trauma bond, they can't work. They can't sleep. The withdrawal, I have a video on it on my Instagram, regular breakup versus withdrawal breakup. It is like ripping your skin. It is the most emotional and mental pain I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. And the hard thing about it is you can't do anything for yourself. You're like immobilized, you're crippled.
Yeah.
Like you can't even go outside. You can't do anything. I know for me, I didn't wear makeup. I didn't work. I literally ate candy bars. I'm serious. I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't function. I couldn't work. I couldn't think. I couldn't write emails. I couldn't really connect with other people. And because of this process right here, the brain is saying it was your fault, go fix it. And the love hormone is saying, go reunite, go reunite. So you have that constantly coming at you while you're going through the pain. So it's the withdrawal. That's why people go back. Because the withdrawal is actually more painful than staying in it. It escalates. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to go soothe myself and go back to him.
Yep. It's a quick hit.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
And then it's over. And to touch on you, I just keep remembering your frustration with the inability to come up with answers to fix the relationship. I do remember that. And I feel like there was times that you felt frustrated with me. Like, what's the answer? Let me fix this relationship. You're supposed to help me. Nobody, they don't know. People don't realize we're teaching you to pull away.
Yeah.
And so in a trauma bond, we want to, we're always looking for ways to fix it. And that's why we constantly rescue, fawn.
This just shows you why it's important that you have somebody walking you through this. I mean, I'd probably still be stuck in it, and I'd have no family and I'd have no friends, because they would have all left me if I had stayed. Just hope that people watching this get inspired to contact someone to help them. And it's just incredible to hear in a way, because it makes me feel like I'm less crazy.
Definitely. And I want to say something else about working with you. It's going to sound, I could see where some people would be like, what? In a way, I'm really happy he was a malignant, because you could see externally the abuse that was happening when he was threatening your family.
Talking about my ex.
Yeah, your ex. When he was threatening, because when they're not physical, it makes it actually harder to navigate. But when they get physical, then it's like, I cannot not see you doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's emotional and psychological, oh my God, it is so much harder to navigate in some ways for some people. But then again, I see people go back to physical abuse too. But for you, I think because of you and your personality and who you are and having children, to see that physical aspect of it was like, I can't let my kids be harmed. So maybe I can't do it for me, but I can do it for my kids.
There were a lot of motivating factors at the end that pushed me to that point where I don't know if it was radical acceptance yet, or if it was just forcing myself to do the motions, because I did have the kids and I did have people in my family that were walking away. What are they supposed to do?
Exactly.
And I remember at the time, I was angry with them for walking away. I was like, how could you not support this? I'm trying to make my marriage work, blah, 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 right? And I'm defending this person till the cows come home. They have now witnessed physical abuse. And I'm saying, I want to stay and fix it. Of course they want to walk away. It's like talking to a wall. I couldn't see past just that. That's all I could see was just this relationship and I needed to fix it. And I was driving myself crazy trying to do that.
Yes.
And going back and forth and back and forth. 1 week realizing I'm better than this, I need to move on, and then succumbing to that withdrawal and falling for one of his hoovers. So this trauma bond, though, it's like, it is no joke. We talk about, narcissistic abuse like all the time, right? But really, it all boils down to this trauma bond is like, if you can identify that that's what's happening. I don't care if it's narcissistic abuse. It could be all kinds of different things.
Oh,
it doesn't
absolutely.
have to be that, and you can have a trauma bond with your mom, with your sister, with your friend, there's all kinds of people you can have trauma. This is not even just romantic. The thing that if we can identify that it's there's a fix and it's leaving, it's breaking free of it. It's making a choice, moving a different direction and committing to that. Because you can't fix the abuser. You can't fix them. We're talking about it because we want you to, understand it and then leave. Like, understand that there's an issue and there is an answer. And the only answer is you have to change, because and that's just something I maybe it was radical acceptance in the end, because that's literally like what it came down to. I was like, I can't, I've done everything. I can't fix this person. I can't even get him to see reason. And now I don't have all these people. So before I lose all of them, I have to decide,
Yes. And you're right. And that's when we get to that place that we go, we've done every freaking thing in the book, and it's not getting better and it's getting worse. If you're in a trauma bond and you've tried to leave and you couldn't, beating yourself up is only going to break you down more. There is a chemical, neurological, and hormones involved in keeping you from not leaving. Know that. And that's why, while we're going through the pain, we need someone to navigate it for us until we break this trauma bond, and then we can make some better decisions. But so beating yourself up, saying I went back to the abuser again, or here's another one, trying really hard to find more supply for them.
Yeah.
All of those things, you're groomed to do this. We tend to go through that honeymoon stage and think that I'm going to find one more attempt, one more answer, one more approach, one more forgiveness. And sometimes I have to, in sessions, be like, we've tried this though, like 3 times already. Because they forget that, because now they're stuck in that cycle. There's a way out. So this is horrific. It's a horror show, but there's a way out. There's a way out. You just have to ask for help. You just have to. On your own, it's impossible. I tried it and went back, and then it attracted more girlfriends, boyfriends.
Thing is, you'll keep attracting them if you don't, figure out how to stay away. Like, there's a reason why we keep going back.
If you're watching, get help with someone that understands trauma bond, not someone that's going to throw forgiveness at you and patience and tolerance. Someone that's going to really see the damage that it's causing you by actually staying.
Right. Guys, check out Azadeh at Break Free, Rise and Rebuild. She is a narcissistic abuse coach. She's a wealth of information. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and check back next week for part 3 of Trauma Bonds.
Yes. Thanks, Amy, for having me.